Hi, this is Eunice, and today I want to show you how to make this peekaboo card. It looks like this, and when it opens up, it reveals another image. And so what you need to do to make that card is you're going to need 3 pieces of cardstock out of 12 by 12. You're going to cut one piece at 6 by 6, 9 by 6, and 9 1/4 by 6. And I like to create patterns, as I told you before, so when I don't visit a card that often, I like to keep a pattern so I can have something to go by when I do go back to make that card. You're going to need some designer paper. You're going to need 2 at 5 7/8 excuse me, by 4 1/4. Need 2 of those. And then you're going to need 1 at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So you're going to take your 9 1/4 by 6. You're going to score it down the middle. My scoreboard. You're going to score it down the middle at 4 5/8. And then you're going to fold that. You're going to take your 9 by 6 and you're going to score that at 3. And then you're going to fold that like so. So we're going to score it at 3. Let me go back and score that at 3 inches. And then you're going to fold it so it should look like this. You're going to take your 6 by 6 and you're just going to lay that aside for right now. That's the back of your card. You're just going to lay that aside. Take your 9 by 6 and your 5 7/8 designer paper, and you're going to glue that on the front like so. And I'm doing a rough draft because, like I said, this is pretty much going to be like a pattern for me. So I'm just sort of doing a rough draft for you ladies. Or guys, whoever was watching. Just doing a sort of rough draft. You're going to put your designer paper on like so. You're going to take your 9 1/4 by 6 and you're going to open it up and glue those 2 designer paper on the inside like this. And it's roughly going to look like that when you open it up. And it's not sticking very much. I don't want it to stick too much because I want to use it as my pattern here. So, part and it falls off. You want to make sure yours don't. Like I'm just using this as a pattern. So, you're going to take your 9 and your 9 by 6. And the clue here is we're going to cut open the windows. And so you don't want to die any larger than 2 inches wide. Flip it over and use the fold line as your guide. So you're doing about like this. So you line it up and you can draw here. You can draw a little line on the back. But you don't want it to go any further. You want about 1/2 inch on the side. So be very careful. You can use any die, but just be very careful that it's no larger than 2 inches wide. And so that's your guide that you're going to use to cut your window out. You're going to run this through your Big Shot. Go ahead and do that. me. see? When you run it through your big shot, that's going to create that window for you. And so that's how you're going to create that. You're going to do the same thing here. You're just going to take this card. You're going to line it and make sure it's flush with your other card. Like so. Place the die back in there. What I did is I just drew around this again to create that pattern. So now I know where I can lay my die. Tack it down. So. And run that through your big shot. Sorry, camera's moving. It's my big shot. And you're going to run it through your big shot. You should have this window. And what I like about using the thin paper, you don't have to. You can use the thick one. But when you use the thin paper, it helps cut through both sides. But if it so happened that it didn't, and like I said, this is not perfect. If it so happened that it didn't, you have an indentation on this side, you can run it back through your big shot again. You can use that indentation as your pattern, and you can run it back through again. Like I said, ladies, this is just something I'm creating. I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm just using this as an example. And so when you have your two windows here, your card should look like this. This is the windows where you're going to put your images. And your images need to be within that. You can use a negative space that you created to put your image on the back and lay it in here. But however you want to do that. But your images need to fit within this window. Now to get that peekaboo effect, you're going to take this and you're going to glue all around it. And you're going to line that up again, flushing it and making those windows meet. Like so. And that's how you create the front of the card. And like I said, you're going to get your images. And then you're going to take the back of the card, you're going to flip it over. And this edge is the only edge you're gluing down. Because this has to be able to glide. So you glue this onto this like so. And when you open up your card, I gotta let it make sure it's sticking here. Because I didn't put too much glue on there. So like I said, I want to keep this as my pattern here. So it's not making it perfect, so I do ask y'all to excuse me on that. But when you open it up, see how that window slides in. So that window is going to slide in, revealing the peekaboo effect. Thus, you're getting this. When the windows slide open, you're getting this here. To create a border for your circles, like this here, to create a border, what I did is I basically just used this as a guide for my border. Stuck that in, stuck that like so. You want to make sure it's centered. I'm not doing that just for the sake of the video. I'm just giving you a general idea how to do this. Run that through my big shot. my big shot now. This is what I have. And you can put that around here and line it up so you can see that better. So what I got, you put it around here, and that creates a border or frame for your images. Now your images is going to be glued here, which is on this flap. So you would glue your image. So let's say for instance your image is on here. You line it up and you glue your images on this flap, because that's going to slide through. When you open your card and you glue it together, you're going to glue your images right back here on the back of the card. Right in here is where you're going to glue another image, whichever image you choose. You're going to glue here, and then when the cards slide in, you're going to glue here within that window. So that's where your two images is going to go. So when you open it up, it's image on the flap, and then the image is on the very back of the card. So that's how you make a peekaboo card. They have one that is a little bit easier, but I like the square one that is a little bit wider, so I can put more on. And that's how I created this peekaboo card. Thanks for watching.